Welcome to the Horror Fanatic, horror reviews for horror fans. Tonight we're going to talk about the 2016 horror movie, Siren. Siren is directed by Greg Bishop, written by David Bruckner, and it stars Chase Williamson, Hannah Fierman, and Justin Welborn. Siren follows a group of guys on a bachelor party night. They get lured to a seedy club out in the middle of nowhere, and then chaos ensues when they accidentally release a beast of the night.
Okay.
Now let's talk about what we liked about the film.
Alright, so this one for me, it was kind of hard to find things to like about this one, unfortunately. It has this kind of goofy vibe, which I kind of liked if they would have done anything with it.
Exactly.
There was this character whose name was Nix. He played his character really over the top, and it was really, really amusing to watch him. Every scene he was in, he stole the scene for sure. His character wasn't explained really at all. He was just some weird guy who was into occult stuff, who may or may not have been working with the police department. It's just kind of weird, but his character was really interesting and unique. And that is all I can say that's good about this one. Ugh. Laura, what did you think?
They had an interesting idea that involved leeches and a Medusa-like character. And it involves the leeches retrieving memories, and then you put the leech in a drink, and whoever consumed the drink would get those memories. So that was kind of interesting, but they barely touched on it at all.
Mm-hmm. I could use a whole movie on that one.
Yeah, I could too. I thought that was
that idea was better than the rest of the freaking movie.
I also thought the Siren's practical makeup, not her CGI tail, we won't talk about that, but her face makeup was kind of cool. What did you think, Adam?
Yeah, this comes from a short from VHS called Amateur Night, and the same actress plays the same role as the creature. Her name's Hannah Fierman, and I think she's great. She's actually really interesting. Yeah. She's pretty, but on top of that, she has an oddness quality to her that she plays an inhuman character, and I believe it somehow. Travis mentioned a guy named Mr. Nix in the movie. He's played by Justin Welborn. He's kind of the next Robert Englund, the way that he hams it up.
Kind of that 80s style cheesy villain.
Mm-hmm. And I think, Robert Englund's not getting any younger, so why not have the next one?
Honestly, not a bad choice.
Yeah.
And really, just to play on Laura's here, I mean, the practical effects that they went with when you got to see something was well done, and it's really sad that they didn't stick to that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about what we did not like about the film.
So trying to choose just one bad thing with this movie is extremely difficult. So I'm going to go through my quick short list of things that were shit about this shitty fucking movie.
Preach.
So they took about every cliche you could imagine and put it into this. I mean, the movie starts off with a fucking bachelor party. I mean, how fucking old school is that? And then you have the one douchebag friend who takes everybody's phones, so the cell phones are mysteriously gone throughout the rest of the movie. Well, they do at least come back to that later. I mean, the guy finds his phone in the glove compartment of his car, so at least they had that much foresight, but still, it's just such a cliche. They do drugs. And man, every time I watch a horror movie, when people are popping pills, doing shrooms, smoking marijuana, bad shit's gonna happen to these fuckers. Every time. They go, and the place they go where the Siren is in this movie is this plantation, just out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And that's cliche as hell as well. There's random slow motion scenes. And my least... I almost fucking forgot the goat heads.
Oh,
I would have been
forget those.
So mad.
Please explain.
At the beginning of the film, the first thing in this film, you get to see the weird voodoo guy, Nix, and Sheriff at this church. And this church has what is probably, if you would search satanic ritual into Google, this would be the first scene that popped up. It's just...
on the wiki page.
Oh, yeah. And... it has these goat heads on sticks they are goat heads in the sense that they are plastic masks made for human people, sized goat heads. And they are just plastic masks. I mean, they are just plastic goat heads on sticks. They even have real goats that they show later that aren't even the same type of goats. I think they're just hoping that people think all goats are the same.
The goat heads were extra shiny. You could
they were just shiny.
Yeah,
it wasn't even fur. It was just shiny
yet.
plastic. It was so bad. And then the last thing I have to say about this, or else I'll talk all night, is one of the many outdoor at night sequences they did was clearly shot during a full moon because there is a black circle like about here on the screen, and the reason why there's a black circle is because it's blacking out the moon behind it. It is the shittiest editing I've ever seen. Oh, it's bad. Laura, take it away.
Okay, I have so many things there.
You still have more? Oh, no.
Well, first, the quality of the video you forgot to talk about.
I did.
It shifts constantly. Like, it goes from really bad to even worse.
Like this camera. This camera is a higher quality than what they used in this film.
Maybe my phone.
Yeah. Phones are probably better quality.
And then the dialogue and acting was like very campy at the beginning. Yes. It was almost like a softcore porn, kind of like campy. But they didn't continue that. Then it shifted and it was very, very serious. There's some running scenes that I swear the actor was just briskly walking. There's also a very dramatic henchman mask reveal that has no reason for.
Yeah,
like you think he's gonna be disfigured or some kind of mutant. And he takes his mask off and it's just like some janitor.
It's like no, it's Bob. It's Bob from accounting. Yeah. I mean, nobody.
He takes off the mask and he's like, "Hi guys,
how's it going?
How's it going? Hey, bathroom need cleaned."
And then also, I kind of touched on this already. The really, really bad CGI, especially with her tail.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What did you think, Adam?
So I can't emphasize enough that the camera was bad. And the reason I have to emphasize this is because when we started the movie, I actually thought there was something wrong with their TV. I watched the movies over here at Travis and Laura's house, and I've watched movies on their TV, so I know there's nothing wrong with the TV. But that's how bad it was. And then on top of that, the choice to do so many night shots as well as dark shots. Because everybody knows that costs a lot of money to light those and to actually be able to execute those. You need a really good budget.
It doesn't cost no money when there's a full moon out.
That you have to edit out.
You black out.
And then they choose to go with CGI. I know why movies do that. It saves money, but it's actually really bad because it just looks really bad. And they added a tail. They didn't even put detail on the wings. The wings were very plain looking.
Oh yeah,
they looked better in VHS.
I almost forgot that she had fucking wings.
Did you put that in the back of your mind?
I just deleted that out of my subconscious. I didn't need to remember that.
Well, after we're done with this review, I'm deleting this movie. And one thing that was really, really painful for me is if the movie's not going to be all that great, at the very least, we're going to get a bunch of carnage and a bunch of violence. And she's a creature from hell or somewhere. She should be... So she rips through people, there's no doubt. But we don't get to see anything. Everything happens off screen. I do not understand. And the writing on top of that. If you don't know the VHS short, it's the same exact story, but they stretch it out paper thin. And I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
And just... They try to give us a little twist at the end. It makes zero sense. Making the movie total, nothing. It's just not a very good movie.
No.
Now let's talk about what's in the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
So normally for this part, we have interesting tidbits to tell you. And I have chosen not to give you any interesting facts because I don't think there is any more interesting things about this movie to talk about. This movie was the biggest pile of shit I've seen in a long time. And it's not... If you would go into this movie not knowing anything about the short, it would be less of a piece of shit. It would still be a piece of shit, but maybe a more enjoyable one. But since I've seen the short, and VHS series is great, and that Siren, the Amateur Night short is amazing. So there's no excuse for them to turn to this cliche fucking drivel. It's just so bad. I just hate this movie so much. Laura, what did you think?
We found out that Hannah Freeman, who plays the Siren, is actually good at singing, but she had to fight with the director to let him use her own voice for the singing parts, which is bizarre. And she is not a horror fan and was terrified of her own scenes and had to have her boyfriend tell her when it was safe to look at the movie again.
That would be weird, being in a film
that you're afraid of.
Scared still, even though you were there. That's weird.
What did you find, Adam?
Well, I found out that the movie was shot in 18 days and it was edited in only 4 weeks.
Oof.
And then on top of that, they moved up the delivery date for the director, in which case he did not have input on several of the final effects scenes. So that could give the movie a slight excuse. I don't think that they had as much control as they would have liked.
Which happens sometimes.
Yeah.
It does.
Unfortunately.
It's almost like an unfortunate bad movie, just because there's so much potential there. And
Yeah.
they did have some really unique ideas.
It's happened to some other productions.
Yeah. Okay, so for this movie, I'm guessing you guys can probably guess. I've given this one an A+. No. Fuck that. I'm giving this an F. This movie fucking sucked. I do have a favorite scene. I mean, there were some decent scenes in this movie. It's just they didn't really do anything with any of them. And they didn't do any of them very good. But my favorite scene, if I have to pick one, is the Siren. She has this really shitty CGI tail. And for most of the film, it's like this little spike at the end. It stabs people. But at one point, it morphs it morphs into this weird dildo-y thing. And she ass rapes the main guy with it. And that's pretty fucking hilarious. So if that doesn't sell you on this movie, then nothing will. Adam, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I give this movie an F. I don't think there's any excuse to make a movie this bad. Especially when Greg Bishop and David Bruckner are behind it. They did The Signal, as well as a couple of good shorts with VHS, including the one that this is based on. They did all, they had a horrible camera. They do all these night shoots. No excuses whatsoever. It's an F. It deserves an F. And my favorite scene would be, there's a scene where the main bad guy has to give a message to our hero, our protagonist. And to do so, he uses these leech drinks that Laura mentioned earlier. And he has to give him a message by making him drink this shot with a leech in it. And that's kind of a cool scene. Just kind of information given that way. So, Laura, what did you think?
I was a little kinder. I gave it a D-.
Oh.
That's only because there were some interesting plot points in it, but it was just extremely poorly executed all around. My favorite scene kind of jumps off of Adam's. It's where the only scene you actually get to see anything, and it involves a kneecap and a crowbar.
Yes. That was painful.
Yeah, that was.
But it's the only scene you actually get to see any action in. All the other ones are hidden behind things, behind a tree, etc.
Yep, that's true.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Next time we'll be talking about the XX. I think it's just XX actually, but it's a all-female directed horror anthology. So that'll be an interesting review to say the least. Like and subscribe if you enjoy what we do. If you have a request for a movie you'd like to have us review, be sure to give us put it in the comments. We'll check that out. If we have time for it, we'll definitely get to your suggestions, and we'll see you next time.